Hi, thanks for tuning in to the Sunday Best Jukebox this week. Next week won't be Sunday Jukebox, it will be something very special. Instead, I'm doing Songs from a Somerset Solstice, which is a concert, a Zoom concert. I think it's the very first Zoom concert run by the David Hall in South Petherton in Somerset, one of my favourite venues, beautiful venue. And we're doing this concert to try and raise some funds. Obviously they're struggling like everybody else, trying to stay afloat, and so I'm going to do it very happily to going to do this concert for them next Sunday, the 21st of June. Songs from a Somerset Solstice. Go onto my website, Reg Meuross Music, Reg Meuross Music on Facebook. I guess the information will also be on my website, but Reg Meuross Music on Facebook will give you all the details, login details, how to buy tickets, how to log on Zoom wise, so I'll see you there next Sunday, 21st of June. Songs from the Somerset Solstice. Hi, welcome to the Sunday Jukebox, where I'm playing your requests, requests that you've made on my Facebook and Instagram. This one has come up several times now, and so I thought time to do it. And it's a song called The Poacher, and I can't honestly remember what the reason for writing this song, except I know that I wanted to see if I could write a song in this style, this folk style, and sort of archaic trad sort of style, and at some point I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could get Martin Carthy to play this, and that would satisfy something in me, and apart from having, you know, the most amazing folk guitarist probably in the world playing on my song. And so I'd finished the song, and when it came to recording it, I mentioned this to Roy, who I was engineering with, and he said, well, why don't you just call him up? So I did. I got hold of Martin, I can't remember how now, and I'd met him a few times over the years, and he said, yeah, no problem, and he turned up on the train. I remember going and picking him up at Paddington, I think it was, and whether he'd come down especially from Whitby to do it or not, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. He was such a lovely guy, and he came in, and he really worked to make this part right for him, and I was quite surprised in a way, because I thought that somebody who was that good, I don't know, just kind of knocked it off, just kind of did their folky thing, and it all happened, but it wasn't. It was he approached it so professionally, and with real kind of like an engineer. It's like going in and really sort of working, playing the lines and listening to my voice, and then no, that's not right, I need to do this. So what you'll get today is a very simplified version, and really what I wrote to start with, I suppose, and what Martin took his cue from, but played that magnificent guitar, and you can hear it on the I can't remember what album it's on now. I think it's August Longing, I could be wrong, but yeah, have a listen to Martin's playing, and to, you know, the icing on the cake was when I had this. I thought, well, you know, let's complete the set, and wouldn't it be great to have fiddle on it, and who else but Phil Beer, and so at that time I knew Phil, and well, I know Phil now obviously, but I knew him, and we'd had communication, so I asked him, and again, like Martin, he said, yeah, no problem, and he came and did this amazing fiddle, sympathetic fiddle, and it's just great to see how those people work, the people who do that kind of music, and then to cap it all off, we played it live at Sidmouth Folk Festival, the three of us, and I remember then Martin saying, I have to go through it, and I thought, well, it's only 3 chords, you know, but you know what he does with those 3 chords is a musical campaign, you know. It's just so intricate and worked out, and of course I didn't appreciate that before, and so working with him and getting going over and over the song in the dressing room, where the porter cabin out the back of Sidmouth Ham Marquee, Martin listening and listening and listening and making sure it was right. It was incredible, and I'm not surprised he's such a legend, because the work he does is magnificent, and so I'm very proud to have had Martin. Unfortunately he's not here today. Of course I'm down in Somerset, Martin is up in, I would guess he's up in where he lives, near Whitby, and I'm sat in my garden chalet, where I'll play you a version of The Poacher. Poacher came in the dead of night, when the weary moon slipped out of sight, and he saw a girl on the edge of the wood, sleeping sound and sleeping good, and a prettier girl he'd never seen. If he were a king, she'd be his queen. He whispered softly in her ear, "Oh, tell me, miss, why you lie here?" She woke in a start like a frightened deer, and she asked, "How long were you standing there?" And he saw in her eyes the forest green. If he were king, she'd be his queen. I rode with my prince from the nearby town, and the hunters came, and they shot him down, and they left me to die from my wounded heart. And for 7 days I lay in the dark, and he saw in her eyes a pain and fear, a defenseless thing like a frightened deer. He gathered her up in a tattered gown, and to his own house he carried her down. He laid her there in his own bed, and he washed her skin, and he soothed her head, and he begged, "My dear, will you marry me?" She answered first, "Give me wishes 3. Just name any wish and I make it true. I'd do anything, I'd die for you." She looked up at him with her eyes so green. "If you were king, would you make me queen?" He cried, "My dear, did I think aloud? For that's one wish I already vowed." For my second wish I would have your home, and if I married you, everything you own. Her gentle hands drew him to her breast, and he heard his voice as he answered yes. As he lay at last in her loving arms, he swore no more would she come to harm. For my last wish, swear to the Lord above, you will kill the man who killed my love. And in her treed green eyes, like a dream he saw the beast he'd killed 7 days before, and he went to the wood on the edge of town, and the poacher wept as he laid down. The poacher, as they say in folk clubs. This song has been requested every week, I think, by Patrick. So Patrick, this is for you, and today by Katie. So Katie, this is for you, and for all of you out there to whom this song means something. It's for you. It's called Shadows on the Wall. When you were young and precious, Daddy's little girl, with your mother to protect you from the strangers in this world. There were monsters in the moonlight, there were faces in the clouds, but she'd hold you in her sweet strong arms. She'd call your name out loud, and Dad would make his fingers into birds and animals. Funny shadows on the wall. Now you lay in bed for hours, you want to sleep but you just cry, and you ask yourself what happened, and you ask yourself why. It's like everything is useless, it's like everybody's gone, and you lie there feeling helpless. What's the sense in going on? And you wake up with the terror, and inside the burning bone, and shadows on the wall, shadows on the wall. Now the doctor says he'll help you, your daddy said that too, and you just want to please him the way the pleasers do. But deep inside you know it's time to break free from those chains. Don't take the pills, don't take the shit, don't play their grown-up games, and know that I'm beside you if you run or if you crawl. They're just shadows on the wall, shadows on the wall, shadows on the wall. You fought for independence, you fought for love and truth, for the freedom of your children to enjoy their strength and youth. It was you who stood beside me in the dark night of my soul. That little girl grew up to be the one who made me whole, and the hands of those who love you make cradles when you fall, and shadows on the wall, shadows on the wall, shadows on the wall, shadows on the wall, shadows on the wall. This is another song that's been requested almost every week, I think. And I'm not sure who requested this. I think it might be Adrian, but whoever, thank you for requesting it. Thanks for all your requests. Do keep them coming in. Hopefully we won't go on too long with this this lockdown thing, and you can come out and request them for real at some point. Anyway, this is a song called My Nirvana. It's from the Still album. No real story to this song. Just wrote it way back, and I remember I played it with the great Martin Belmont playing. I had this guitar riff, and I thought it would be great if Martin played this. I think it was one of the few songs that actually came from a riff, but I can't really do it. Martin does it beautifully, but oh, that sounds like something else. But that was kind of vaguely what the riff was, and you have to imagine it today. You have to imagine the great Martin Belmont twanging away over the top. Been looking for something and just can't find. Ease the demands of a worried mind. It's time I find something to save my soul. Turns out to be another hitching pole. The TV offers you paradise, but you miss it if you blink. And the man at the bar who knows everything just had too much to drink. And I'm wondering why. And I'm looking for my nirvana. Got friends who can tell me when I feel low. Friends who will show me the way to go. Books that will show me the nature of fear. Why and what am I doing here? And the clock on the wall tells me time goes by. I know every road leads home. And the eyes of my child say we come to this world, we leave again alone. And I'm wondering why. And I'm looking for my nirvana. I've done some things that I shouldn't have done, and I've been some dumb places too. And all that I've left, if it turns anything left, I want to do the rest with you. And I'm wondering why. And I'm looking for my nirvana. I'm going to do that middle eight again because I've buggered that up. I've done some things that I shouldn't have done, and I've been some dumb places too. And all that I've learned, if there's anything left, I want to do the rest with you. There's a light in the east, there's a light in the west, and I can't decide which one I like best. The light of contentment and God's forgiveness, the mercury glimmer of fame and success. Envy the young and the beautiful, and we envy the rich and the free. Then I look at my chances, 1,000,000 to 1. I know I'm just lucky to be. And I'm wondering why. And I'm looking for my nirvana. Some people find truth in the beat a little bit ragged, but I haven't played it for a very long time. So there you go. Hi and welcome to the Jukebox, which is coming to you from the chalet in my garden in Somerset today. And this next song that's been requested is it's a song called My Jerusalem, and I suppose rather fittingly it's about England. It's about my England, or the England that I see, the England that I live in, and of course with reference to William Blake and his Jerusalem and so on, and I suppose it's you know, a song. I woke up one day feeling a bit grumpy about something that the government had done, and thought I'd write a song about it. It's probably as simple as that, but it's it's, you know, the systematic dismantling of everything that's good about this country, village life, social life, you know, the communities and all of that stuff, and how everything is geared towards bigger and you know, mass production, conglomerates taking over the country, you know, Starbucks getting away with not paying any tax, you know, why, all of that stuff, and just how we're kind of controlled by greed, I suppose, to a large extent. It's you know, it's all about making money, and it's not about preserving the land or preserving the beauties of this country, and you know, they're not. Those people aren't really interested in that, and I think during this pandemic, a lot of those hypocrisies have raised their heads. You know, we've seen how what people really care about. You know, what the government really cares about, and what they're really protecting. You know, while standing on the doorstep and clapping, they're happily selling off the NHS. You know, and doing deals that will ultimately dismantle another great institution in this country, or one of the greatest institutions in this country. And you know, it's extremely sad that but you know, that seems to be the way of things. And I'm just a songwriter. I could just you know, I could go down the pub and have a whinge at the bar, but I don't really do that. But so I kind of I do my whinging on with a musical accompaniment, and this is my my sort of me just having my say, really. And so this is My Jerusalem. They come in coats of green and gold, disguised as wise and holy men, through snowy storms and bitter cold. They drag their souls to Bethlehem with lying gifts of good intent, dirty money in their hands, with broken promises they went to the broken promised land. Here come the lights, go get your men, go light your fires, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. They come in pretty suits of blue, their sweet smiles hide their poisoned tongues, through pastures green and pastures new. The power's breath corrupts their lungs. They sold the land to buy the land. They sold the land to buy the gun. From sea to sea with torch in hand, they strip the fields of Albion. Here come the lights, go get your men, go light light your fires, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. They took my living from me, cried the broken bells of Romney, and cast poverty upon me till I die. While you all see the scandal, will you take to court the vandal, or just cast a dying candle over mine? Jerusalem, Jerusalem. No more the dark satanic mills. The devil now sleeps in your home. The web of his infection kills and sells the flesh from off your bones. And still the hapless soldiers sigh, the hopeless tears of widowed wives, while every politician's lie pours insult on their sacrifice. Here come the lies, go get your men, go light your fires, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Hi, welcome to the Jukebox. Today it's coming from my shed, or chalet if you want to be posh, in the garden of my house in Somerset. And you see I've tidied it up specially, well, the bits that you can see anyway. And you might hear the sound of Somerset birds and so on, and people doing their gardens, and it's all going on out here, the outdoor life, now that we're all made to stay indoors. So I'm playing the songs from the garden, and this one has been requested several times. It's the Eyes of Ida Lewis, and it's a recent song from my my last album, Raw. And the story is Ida was a lighthouse keeper at Rhode Island, in up there above New York Harbour, and she at a time which was kind of early 20th century, she became known as the most famous woman in America. And I'm not quite sure how this happened, but I'm guessing it's something to do with the location, because her lighthouse, if you were sailing to New York and you were coming down from the north, you would come down past her lighthouse and then into New York Harbour eventually. So I don't know whether it was to do with the location, but she was visited by royalty and presidents and politicians and all sorts of people, and so hence the title, the most famous woman in America, and very celebrated, but a very shy woman, which is not surprising when you consider her occupation. She was a lighthouse keeper for 60 years, so she spent pretty much a huge amount of her time on her own, I would have thought, and maybe in her early days with her family. But and also she saved she saved many lives. This could be another reason why she was so celebrated. And she saved recorded 18 lives, but some figures suggest over 20, 23 to 25, and others say that she may have saved a lot more, which just weren't written down. So as sea heroines go, she was pretty impressive, you know, and so thoroughly deserving of her title. And having found her through searching somebody else, I thought, well, maybe it's time Ida had a bit of a heads up. And at the end of last year, I played in New York, and I played in Greenwich Village, and I thought I'd ask the people there. Obviously, they would have heard of Ida, the most famous woman in New York, but not a soul had heard of her. So I'm spreading the word for Ida, and when I do this live, it has a chorus, so do join in from your homes. And it also, some people will know, this also has hand movements, which I've employed quite spectacularly at festivals in the past. But probably don't worry about those, and because otherwise the neighbours will start asking questions. You know, what are they up to next door? Exercises, good exercise. That's right. Good lockdown exercises there. But there you go. You can. I won't command you to do the movements, but do go ahead. I don't know what happened there. It told me my battery was low, so you might have had a little glitch there. But anyway, the eyes of Ida Lewis. I fell in love with Ida on the day I went to sea, when she pulled us from the water, my stupid friends and me. She said, I'm far too young to marry, but I keep you in my sight, and I bless the eyes of Ida before I sleep at night. As strong as any sailor, as brave as any man, why risk your life for fools, she said, because I can. They travelled miles to praise her, and she shyly took her bow. She said, I never made a speech in my sweet short life, and I ain't gonna make she wasn't counting heads. She gave 60 years so travelers could sleep safe in their beds. When they called her strong, she answered, it's the Lord that makes me rise. They see the lights that watch the harbor, but I see the eyes This one has come up a few times, so I thought I'd do this today. It's a song, it's called A Quiet Night, and it comes from a post a friend of mine made on Facebook, where she said, it's a quiet night, but what's the good of a quiet night when you have such a restless mind, or words to that effect. And I thought it was potentially a really good line for a song, a title for a song. So I contacted her and asked if she would mind me using it, and she said no, go ahead. And so I did. And this is on my Songs About a Train album, album of outtakes. Not outtakes, just songs that didn't make it onto various albums. And nothing wrong with that. They just probably just had too many at the time. And so this is I'm going to play it on my dulcimer. This is I'm fiddling around in my lap here. It's my Appalachian dulcimer, actually made in Camberley. After I went to see Joni Mitchell premiere her Blue album at the Royal Festival Hall, I came home and having fallen in love with this weird exotic instrument she was playing, and this was it. My friend said, that's an Appalachian dulcimer, I'll make you one, or a mountain dulcimer, and so he did. And as far as I know, this is the only one he ever made, and I love it, and I use it a lot on recordings, and I used it to write this song. So this is A Quiet Night. Quiet night, the stars are still, the big moon sleeps upon the hill. I could be yours, you could be mine. What's a quiet night for restless mind? It's a quiet night beneath your sheets. Your skin is warm, your breath is sweet. Show me your face or make me blind. It's a quiet night to restless mind. The wind goes softly through the trees. Your hair like silk moves with the breeze. To paint your face there is no art. What's a quiet night to an aching heart? Take off your dress, your makeup too. Wish I was there to look at you, to climb the stair, to draw the blind. What's a quiet night to a restless mind? Some men work and some men fight. Some men sleep alone at night. For a woman's love they would be free. What's a quiet night what hopes or dreams she keeps, or if tomorrow she'll be kind. What's a quiet night to a restless mind? What's a quiet night to a restless mind? Hi, this next request is it's called Refugee, and once more it's been requested by several people. I wrote this song after hearing Jack's story. Jack Ahmed al-Rashid is a Syrian name, and Jack is from Aleppo, and I heard his story. He came, I met him in London when I was doing a launch for an album, and I invited him along to give a talk, just so that to give people a chance to hear what it was really like for somebody not unlike us, you know, a guy with a job and a family and a house and his school friends and so on, and social life and all the things that we have suddenly having all of that taken away from him, brutally, unbelievable brutality he was subjected to. And Jack went through the horror of the having to raise the money to try and escape and to find refuge here in Britain, and so he had to, all the money he could raise was spent on getting him and his family out in a leaky boat, that fear, that dreadful route that we hear about. And all the things in this song are things that Jack told me, and to hear him speak was profound, to actually hear that from somebody who, as I say, who was just like us, and suddenly having it taken away in such a horrific fashion. And his, Jack is a lovely guy, and I've been in touch with him a few times since, and he's incredibly resilient and a great outlook on life, and he's done great work for his people and his friends and stuff like that. And so I have nothing but respect for this man, and so I wrote this song for him. This is for Jack. We took a bus to work today. He never turned or talked to me. When they see his face, they look away. I hear them whisper, refugee. It hasn't always been like this. Stacking shelves from 9 till 3. He studied law, he's got a wife and kids, but now he's just a refugee. Now he's just a refugee. He left his job, he left his home, torn from his wife and family. He watched them cut his brothers down. They smashed his future and his history. We'll pass your mother round, they said, unless you come and fight with me. And as she ran, his mother said, my honor's not your currency. She gave up everything she loved. My sons won't die because of me, or fight for a cause they don't believe. I'd rather be a refugee, refugee, refugee. I'd rather be a refugee. You put the children in a boat, save them from the bloody knives. He wrapped his wife in his only coat. He's no idea if they're still alive. 12 hours they said to reach dry land. After that you're lost at sea. Precious lies in greedy smugglers' hands. You've got no choice when you're a refugee. You've got no choice when you're a refugee. Half a nation cast adrift, condemned to wander aimlessly. 300,000 torn and dead. Lucky to be a refugee, refugee, refugee. Lucky to be a refugee. 71 in the back of a chicken truck, staring out that final breath. Stillborn child in a jungle camp, while his mother slowly starves to death. And when they've no tears left to cry, tear gas brings them to their knees. You'll learn to beg if you don't die. Be glad to be a refugee. Be glad to be a refugee. He took a bus to work today. He never turned or talked to me. It hasn't always been this way. He wasn't born a refugee. He wasn't born a refugee.